Good afternoon and good Sunday to each of you. I am delighted to be here to our Mistress of Ceremony, Moni's Dr. Bowser, to Dr. Palani, the extraordinary leader and visionary leader that she is, to our distinguished guests and program participants, and especially to our young people who we're excited about, who's going to have a great insight into 2 weeks of spending time with some of the scholars and many leaders from across this country. It is going to be an excellent opportunity for your lives to be enhanced. It is such an honor this evening again to be here and to be a part of this and to hopefully witness some of the great work that I know these young people are going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. It has been a wonderful journey for other young people, and so I don't expect anything less from Policy Pathway as you continue to focus in on policy and leadership. I this evening have the distinct pleasure of introducing someone that I looked at her bio that's extensive and all of the great work that she has done over the years. And so again, it is such an honor to introduce her this afternoon, this distinguished leader and our keynote speaker for the evening, who's an amazing leader in the Illinois state government, Senator Jacqueline Collins. She has certainly led a life of service to her community and to her state. Her efforts are indeed admirable as she has lasered in on those issues that are certain to make a difference in the lives of people in her district. And what I have found out, Dr. Bowser, based on her bio, that she is not one that just talked the talk. She walked the walk. And at a time in our nation when we need individuals like herself, that's committed to service, committed to being a public servant in an effort to bring about transformational changes in the lives of people that she represents and in Illinois. Just a little insight about State Senator Jackie Collins. She's a former journalist and an Emmy Award nominated editor at CBS TV. Senator Collins has used her experience and her communication skills in support of a progressive agenda to create economic and social welfare policies that reduce inequality, expand opportunity, and strengthen our community. I think you know something about those things, Dr. Bowser. She's a recipient of the Scheinfeld Award from the Woodstock Institute in recognition of her lifetime achievement in promoting economic justice. Collins has used her role on the Senate Financial Institution Committee to ensure the passage of legislation that protects Illinois consumers and their family. She's also played a key role in addressing the issue of predatory lending and mortgages. Long before the national recession, she said she warned her colleagues and constituents about the dangers of predatory lending. She's also had extensive work in financial literacy. Collins received the Illinois Credit Union League 2009 Desjardins Youth Financial Education Award because of the great work that she had done in that area. And so the list goes on and on. But finally, I want to say that she was in 1983, she worked on the massive voter registration drive that helped elect Chicago Mayor Harold Washington. In 1984, she served as a press liaison for Reverend Jesse Jackson, and she also served in 2001 as a legislator for Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton in Washington, D.C. Finally, I just want to say thank you to Senator Collins for being here today, for sharing her agenda, sharing her wisdom with us, and we just wait in anticipation to hear what she has to say. Without further ado, I present to you and introduce to you none other than Illinois State Senator Jacqueline Y. Collins. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dolores L. McQuinn, for that lovely introduction. I'm so proud to join you this afternoon. My name is Jacqueline Collins, and I am the State Senator of the 16th District of Illinois. I'm honored to have this opportunity to speak with you on the importance of equipping young people with an understanding of the roles policymakers have in making positive changes in the lives of individuals, communities, and the world. First, let me thank Dr. Polani Lucas and the Policy Pathways Board of Directors for inviting me to kick off the opening ceremony of this 2-week Policy Leadership and Public Service Summer Academy. I had the privilege of being mentored by Dr. Lewis, a brilliant Black woman, someone who knew her role as an academic and a scholar. She turned theory into practice in the real world. She was the strategist and co-creator of Harvard's Summer Leadership Program. The Summer Leadership Program was her brainchild, and Dr. Lucas poured her passion along with her time, talent, and treasure into its success. She truly was and continues to be an agent of change, a servant leader who you too have the honor and privilege of learning from. The district I represent contains a diverse tapestry of constituents: Arab Americans, Hispanic Americans, Anglo Americans, and African Americans. I take pride every day knowing that I am elected to lead such a broad coalition of engaged and thoughtful community members. We have met over the years to tackle pressing tasks of our time, from increasing access to public transit for our most disadvantaged communities, to cracking down and removing ghost guns off our streets, and even working in every action to step I take in Senate to represent them and to give them a voice. In the Senate, I think, how will this affect all my actions? I think, how will this affect our youth and young people down the line? On many occasions, elected officials with honest intentions to improve life may not heed the thoughts and feelings of young people when making major legislative decisions. The youth and young leaders are our future, and we should now do as much as we can to bring them in, educate, and inspire them to go out and make lasting and positive change in their communities. In 1963, it was the youth in Birmingham, Alabama, the day that gave Dr. King's push for justice momentum. The adults had jobs that would have been otherwise jeopardized. They worked, for many of the parents worked as domestics in many of the white homes. So they were more always at risk of losing their jobs. It was the children and young adults, just like you, who decided to lead and walked out of their schools, meeting fire hoses and dogs, because they knew they were fighting for their future. They understood the agency they had. It was this agency that empowered them to endure police assault and arrest. The future for which they were fighting is the freedom we enjoy today and struggle to maintain. When I was in the same shoes as many of you, I was given a valuable opportunity by then Chicago mayoral candidate Harold Washington to help assist in one of the largest voter registration drives in the history of Chicago. I had the space to interact and empower fellow young people to make a decision that ultimately made a lasting, positive change in Chicago. I believe the key to empowering the young generation in any issue, on any issue, is to simply talk to them as I am doing with you. You value honesty, integrity, and a chance to have your voices heard. I think we as legislators may sometimes get caught up with how things may be perceived or how a story may be interpreted. Conventional media is powerful and essential in organizing everyday Americans. I, however, would like to see more legislators take alternative measures to reach young people. Social media has paved the way for people and organizations to bypass the traditional gatekeepers in order to have more organic, personal, and transcending conversations. While it may not be a virtuoso, hardly so, in some of these new exciting mediums, I have a great staff of young professionals that work alongside me to teach me how to reach youth and young adults better. Whether young or old, or as I like to say, maturity and authenticity matters. So for these reasons, I am proud to have been the chief co-sponsor of legislation creating the Illinois Legislative Youth Advisory Council, which seeks to facilitate communication between the youth of Illinois and the elected branches of state government. This law helps facilitate and prioritize our important conversations with the youth of Illinois. I encourage every legislature in our country to mirror this law so that our youth have a protected and valued line of communication to their government. Youth voting rates are rising. Young people are more connected to each other than ever before. What we must do as caretakers of the Republic is to invite you, the next generation, in. We need to ask your thoughts, how you might approach an issue, and how to better share information with the community. Our youth and young people are charting a course that will navigate our great country through these rocky waves, such as violence and voter suppression. As a policymaker, it is essential that I, along with my colleagues across the country, lead by example and involve our leaders of tomorrow in discussions around improving our communities. In order to keep the momentum going, it is essential that we continue to encourage and value education in all aspects. To put it simply, and you've heard this before, knowledge is power. During my time in the Senate, I am proud to have been a sponsor of legislation which requires the Department of Children and Family Services to ensure that wards of the state who are seniors in high school have all the assistance needed in obtaining required documents to pursue higher education. Our most vulnerable children deserve the most care and attention. Their thoughts, feelings, and lives matter. It is also important to realize the fact that we may have a great deal to learn from our younger community members. A different perspective on an issue can be the difference between gridlock, a breakdown, or breakthrough on the issues we face today. President Franklin D. Roosevelt once said about we cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. By educating, involving, and inspiring our young neighbors and community members, we will have built the foundation for future success that we never even dreamed of achieving. The progress of change is being challenged every day and in every branch of government. And what you will learn here at Policy Pathways will be the tools for navigating these chaotic currents and times. I want you to take a moment to collect your thoughts on how your parents, teachers, and others have helped you in your quest to be part of this program. Always remember that not only are they a link to your past, they are also a part of the bridge to your future. People who will always be there for you when you need help. You have applied to be in such a prestigious policy leadership program, and you must continue to apply yourselves over the next 2 weeks and beyond if you are to be a change agent and be the change you want to see in the world. Today, my hope is to challenge each of you to tap into your talent and use this educational moment as a stepping stone to discover your God-given purpose, his promise, and his possibility, his divine possibility for your life. As you are equipped, become engaged in the hard work for the common good and treat others well. Know that what you do for one, you do for all. Although some of the issues are different, the message is the same. We are one race, woven together in one another's wins and one another's wounds and weaknesses. Our society is suffering and showing signs of chaos and confusion. There is every reason to look at the world today with despair. We have lost our direction and our focus. It's for that reason we need to find it in ourselves to hope and to act. You are not too young to get involved in your communities and give back to all those who fostered you along the way, including policy pathways. If you are of voting age, be sure to register to vote and vote in elections at every level. Education makes it possible for people to be responsible and informed citizens and to have a voice in politics and society, which is essential for sustaining democracy. Just as Policy Pathways is a different program with a different approach, life must be lived differently and with a different approach. Before leaving today and moving on to the next step of your lives, I want to share with you just a few things to remember on your way of being the change. From both my personal and educational experiences and professional experiences, I've come to learn a few important lessons that I'd like to share with you as you expand your servant leadership. 1, never forget the importance of setting goals in life. All policy issues start with intention. 2, never give up on your dreams, no matter how crazy they may sound or someone may think they are. For example, I desired to attend Harvard as a tribute to my grandmother, who never had the opportunity. Growing up in Mississippi, she never had the opportunity to fulfill her God-given potential. There were many naysayers, but I persisted and was persevered because I knew how important it was that we had that education, and not only in my life, but for my nieces, my nephews, and the young children that I encounter every day it's important for them to have a role model, that someone who comes out of the community can attend Harvard and give back, just like Lonnie Lucas. And number 3, always take time to think about and plan out your actions. As you advocate for various policies, think of the positive impact and lead with that. Each one of these lessons will be important to you at one point or another. Set goals. Like I said, it never hurts to set goals with anything you do in your life. There can never be anything wrong with setting positive goals for yourself. And your goals, whether policy-oriented or personal, should be SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic to a sense, to a small sense, and time-bound. Sometimes it is hard to imagine the impact of reaching your goals. The sense of accomplishment it gives you is hard to understand without actually doing it. But you're sitting here now, I'm sure in applying, that was one of your goals. So you are always already on your first step of success. And remember, goals are not mandates. They do not have to be reached, but they are simply passageways to possibilities, success, stability, and responsibility. If they are not reached the first time, do as the old adage says, try, try, and try again. Make a positive impact and urge other young people to follow in your footsteps. Throughout your lives, continue to grow as people who are willing to take on change and are willing to deal with challenges. No matter how hard the road in front of you may look, or how hard the road behind you may have been, never let it get you down. Never lose hope. Never let the situation change you. Always change the situation. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on your families. Never give up on your friends. And never give up on your communities. And never give up on your God. Be the change and incorporate these life lessons. Again, thank you, Policy Pathways, for today's invitation to share some of my thoughts with you all today. I hope they were inspiring to some extent because we are on the doorstep of major change here in our country. You hold the answers to solve many of our problems of today and tomorrow. It is time that we help pass the torch and prepare you for the road ahead. I look forward to seeing these leaders, the positive change agents in society as you move forward. I thank you for the time to share. I look for the partnership and the collaboration as we go forward in moving society to a more just and equity society and making government as good as is promised. Thank you. I enjoyed the time I spent with you. God bless.
Thank you so much, Senator Collins, for those wonderful and inspiring words. And also thank you for the great work that you're doing in Illinois, and between you and Delegate McQuinn, you can conquer this world. So again, thank you.